How you guys doing? And thanks for watching. This is George here at Wicked Warnings, your number one source for construction and emergency, safety, and strobe lighting equipment for cars, vans, buses, trucks, bicycles, tricycles, SUVs, mom's minivan, whatever you got. What we have here is a 2021 GMC Canyon, kind of the cousin to the Colorado. This is the GMC Canyon, and local construction company needed to have some good warning, predominantly in the rear. So up front, in an effort to not mess up that beautiful Denali grille, we went with our Razor LED strobe light. That's a real thin strobe light. I like how it fits in between the slots on the chrome on these Denali grills. It fits its older brother, the Sierra, very nicely. And as you can see, works into this Canyon grill also very nicely. That is a no drill mount. And all we needed to do was put one screw hole in a black portion of the grill. There's some black plastic between the chrome where one screw hole will be, and there's a little bit of plastic backer behind the other screw. Very easy to install. You can reach down behind the grill after you make a little clearance on the top from the air shroud, and you can get in there. It's really not that bad of an install to do this. These are 4 Razor LEDs. Now that light is selectable. I'll turn the ISO down just a little bit. You can see here how we're running an amber white combination pattern. It changes speed. That's just one of many patterns. If you wanted to run these lights all amber, you could do that. If you want to run them all white, you could do that too. You can also do, as we're doing, amber and white, as well as a steady white flood override. This particular client didn't have any use for the steady white, so we didn't implement that. We just went with a simple alternate amber white flash pattern, and you can select all the color options when you program the light. That's a 2-color light that will display either amber, white, or a combination of amber white, as well as white flood. Again, that's called a Razor in the front grille there. Let me turn it up here to the ISO, and that's regular ISO, so you can see the brightness of the light. Not playing any tricks on you here. The lights in the shop are totally on. This is a kind of a farewell video to our shop. We're going to be moving, so this is the last video that we're doing in this shop here. All the next videos will be filmed in our new location. We've expanded to suit your needs. We've got a much larger shop we're building, so stay tuned for some new videos coming out, and they'll be filmed in the new shop. Let me show you what we did around the back of this truck. Alrighty, around the back, as you can see, customer requested that white X pattern we've used so many times. Gives you a nice bold flash. On these particular Canyon tail lights, this is a Denali, but I bet the regular trim Canyon is probably similar, and I'll update when we have one apart. But on this 21 Denali tail lights, they are incandescent reverse and incandescent brake turn. So we did opt for our Hideaway Duo, or HAW Duo. Same light up in the cargo. It's an incandescent cargo light, and we went ahead and put a Hideaway in there. So you can do all 6 colors in the reverse or the cargo, depending on which Hideaway you select. We're currently showing our white Hideaway, but if you preferred red, blue, green, amber, or purple, you could run all of those colors in the cargo or the reverse of these brand new 21 Canyons. Now, dropping the camera down just a little bit, you can see just below that in the step pocket, we have our Lin 6 LED. Now, the Lin 6 fits really nice in this step up high on the top edge of the step, as you can see there. We can also mount on the lower edge of the step if you wanted a TIR3. A Lin 8 would fit in that step. A Soundoff M-Power would fit in that step. One of our mini thins would also fit in that step. So you have a lot of choices if you want different lighting in the rear bumper steps. What we're seeing right here is a split pattern, all amber Lin 6. That's a 6 LED light. It's firing 3x3. And the reason I did that is because we have kind of an X pattern alternation already happening with the white. And I didn't want to draw away from that in the amber alternation, and I also wanted to produce as much amber color as we could, given we only had 2 lights. So we split fired the ambers, which essentially kind of keeps them on almost the whole time. They do alternate left, right, as you can see, but it appears as though they don't really shut off when you're looking at the truck from far away. So it gives us just a little bit bolder pop on the amber because, as I said, we've got 4 white and 2 amber, so I wanted to accent the amber a little bit and make it a little bold, and also not interrupt that nice X pattern. That X pattern really does draw the eye when you get far down the road. And I personally myself, when I'm doing an X pattern, I don't like to distract away from it with other alternating patterns. I like to make the X pattern the focus and then run the other patterns something complementary like we did here. Again, that's our HAW Duo in the reverse and the cargo. And I will put a link at the end of this video to more video that has the behind the scenes for how to install those hideaways in the taillight and how to install those hideaways in the cargo light. This install was relatively straightforward. The bumper steps are very easy to wire. You just drill a hole, run your wiring up the back. I have a video to cover the taillights and the cargo light. The grill is pretty straightforward, pretty easy to figure out. And I'm going to show you right now where we drilled the hole for the firewall. Alrighty, we'll be quick about this. There's our switch. Now, I had considered some switch locations, possibly up here. I considered here. I also considered some others, but this one is the one that ended up working out fairly decent, right underneath the headlights. Full illumination, 3/4 switch right there. You do have to trim a little plastic and a little metal that's behind there, but it's not a big deal. We use a rotary tool with our air power to trim that away. It's really quite easy to do. And now let me see if I can take you underneath and show you where we drilled for the firewall.
As you can see right there, we have our split loom and our fabric wrap tape, and we drilled a 3/4 hole, probably where the clutch pedal would be if this was a stick shift car, but we just went right there next to the hood pop cable. Plenty of room. You could drill to the lower left. Any one of those rubber knockouts, you could probably drill a hole behind. Ended up working very easy.
When we wired this switch in, we removed this panel and we removed the side panel here to gain access to reach our hands up in there and get to that switch. It was fairly easy to install that. Underneath the hood here, we've done a 10 amp maximum fuse. Our system runs at about 5 amps, 4.7 to 5.1 amps running everything. So we put a 10 amp max. I'm actually feeding it with a 7.5, but 7.5s are a little bit more uncommon. So I just label it with 10 amp. We grabbed our battery feed right here from the main lug here. We grabbed our ground feed from over here on the battery on the main negative. We wrapped everything up, made it nice and tidy. And that's how you get your power feed with your fuse tap. You can see down here, if I put the light on, where we permeated the firewall right there. That's where you end up coming out when you drill that hole right there. So it works out very nicely. And then I'll take you around the front here. You can kind of see what I was talking about as far as the grill lights. Always make sure you mount the vent down. And then, as I said, we have one single screw hole here in the black plastic, and we put some plastic backer behind the grill there to catch that other screw. There are a couple of verticals that hold the light here. So when you sandwich it in with the 2 screws, it ends up looking quite nice. And I'm a big fan of that look right there. I really do think that that's a real good look for the front of this truck. Sorry about the shaky camera. I am crawling around on the floor for you here. I like that look right there. And I definitely think that these lights blend in with that GMC grill. So thanks again for watching. This is George at Wicked Warnings. We'll catch you on the next video. Wicked Warnings.